Hey everybody, this is Ryan Sheffield, creator of FEROX and co-founder of Craft Fair Games. In this video, I'll teach you how to set up the game and draft your starting decks. First, you need to decide which player will be the film crew and which will play as the natives. Once you have that figured out, start dividing up the components. Each player has a drafting deck of 60 cards. The 6 crew member cards go to the crew. The 4 tribe cards go to the natives. Both players have their own color-coded dice, 3 for the crew, 8 for the natives. There's 6 HP markers for the crew and 48 native warriors. There's also 11 rage tokens in the game. The crew starts with 5, the natives start with 6. You can arrange the 6 encounter cards in any order as long as the crash site is on top and the rescue point is on the bottom. Now let's set up the table. The 2 players line up their tribes and crew members on opposite sides of the table. The native player places all the warrior tokens of each color on their respective tribe cards. The film crew player places 1 HP marker on the top square of each crew member's HP track. The natives' dice are best placed right below their color-coded tribe cards. The crew should keep their dice somewhere easy to reach. Shuffle both drafting decks and arrange them behind the encounters like this. Draw the first encounter card, the crash site. You'll be drawing up to 6 encounters throughout the game and attaching them in a line across the table, so make sure there's room for that. You'll also need to make sure you have room for crew members and warriors to be exposed. More on that later. Now that you've got everything set up, it's time to draft your starting decks. Each player will draw the top 2 cards from their drafting deck and examine them. They then choose 1 to keep and 1 to remove from the game. Repeat this process until you've each chosen 10 cards to keep and 10 to reject. Shuffle the 10 cards you drafted and place them face down in front of you to form your draw deck. Be sure to leave room for a discard pile next to it as well. It's important to keep your draw deck as far away from your drafting deck as you can so you don't get them confused during the game. The draw deck is the one you'll be playing with. The drafting deck is where you'll be getting new cards between the encounters. Novice players can choose to use the pre-selected starter deck instead of drafting their own. Each deck has 10 novice cards identified by the star symbol in the bottom right-hand corner. Simply pull out those 10 cards with the star and make that your starting deck if you're not in the mood to draft. Now that everything is set up and both players have drafted their starting draw decks, it's time to play the game. So stay tuned for the next part of this tutorial where we'll discuss the joys and pitfalls of eating your friends. That's all for now. I love ya.